Hello, we are back. Welcome to my cake kitchen. If you see me for the first time, I'm Gladys. I love cakes, and over here I do all things cake, bringing you simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. Now let's go and check first and see if this sound is okay. Let's check that out. Is this sound on? Okay, right. It should be all right. It should be all right. Hello. Who is in the house? There's no one here yet, but I know you will be in a moment. So grab a drink, take a seat. We're not doing serious baking, but we're doing something baking related because this right here is going to be sorted. Okay, these are baking items, and you're gonna find out a little while what these are all for. So bear with me. If you're just in the chat, give us a hello, hi, and so we can welcome you. The moderators are not here yet, and when they do, you'll find out. Bear with me. Okay. What am I with? Okay, sorry, I was distracted there. Hello there. Yeah, there is a number one. Our friend over there with the orange tag. We don't know what you're saying. I am so sorry. I hope whatever you're saying to us is really positive. Is it okay? Watery. Watery? Is it watery dog? Sorry, I just butchered your name over there. Sorry. Oh, I don't know what you're saying over there because the words are written differently. So I cannot pronounce it and I don't understand it. But I hope it's something positive you're saying. Hello, Lollipop. Lollipop, how are you, my lovely? Are you keeping well? The weather is okay today, isn't it? Apparently, it's going to be hot tomorrow. Look, I live in England, so talking about the weather is a national sport. Good day if you're just joining us. I hope you're having a good time. And I hope by the end of this video, you learn a thing or two. But more than learning a thing or two, I hope you're welcome to the community here, where you will get some support about all things baking. We'll teach you to bake. We'll hand you the baking resources. And then we are a community that will support you, whatever your issues are, as long as it's not intrusive, doesn't require much of us, and it is very respectful. So anyway, I am Gladys, and like I said earlier, I love cakes. Now we're talking cake items, okay? Cake items. People, if you've been here for a long time, you will know I am a hoarder. Yeah, I said it, okay? I hoard my cake stuff. I hoard my cake things. And now that I'm moving, it is staring in my face how much things I've hoarded and perhaps don't need, but struggle to give them away. Okay. So we are talking hoarding, and we'll be going through my items here. And then you are going to help me decide what I'm going to be doing with all of this, whether we're going to donate them, give some away, or simply throw them away. Because actually at the heart of hoarding is an inability to let go. And so if I was passing them on to somebody for helpful use to them and value to them, I might be inclined to kind of let it go, because I am reassured that these items are going to be going to a home and will be of good use. But I don't know. I really don't know. I was just decluttering my stuff and unpacking. I think I still have to do various processes, as in various phases of decluttering before I get to the things. I want to be able to keep what I need, but what I need, as far as I am concerned, is very, very subjective. So the goal here is for us to actually look in a little bit. If you hoard stuff in your house, you want to look at why you're hoarding them, okay, and probably consider doing something about them, because we could all do with a little less items, says the hoarder. Okay, so if you're joining me, we are still doing something super cake related. They are all cake items, and I'll give you some backstory as to how this came to be. I mean, I don't hoard for the sake of just hoarding, and I don't go pick up stuff just for the sake of picking. One reason or the other, once upon a time during my baking career and journey, look, I've been at this for over 10 years, okay? So it's been a good reason to have things that I thought once upon a time I needed, and then time passed, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll need this, maybe I'll need this, maybe I'll need it, and the maybes got added up, and now we're here. So if you're just joining us, hello there. Seasons to Seasons, hello, welcome to the chat. Lollipop is keeping everybody engaged. Lollipop is our in-house moderator for today, and yeah, she will keep you company, she will keep you chatting, and I hope you can enjoy the conversation surrounding baking items, because we just want to be positive. And also today, by the way, today I am only here, I'm going to try and keep the live for just an hour, because after we are done, I have filming, okay, I have a whole video to film, and I'm set up already. So let's get a move on and then get this done. So when you start baking, you need baking items. Show by hands. Show by hands. If you're, the bakers in the chat, put your hand up in the hand up emoji in the chat. Let's see you. Bakers in the chat. I know Lollipop, you're a baker, so minus Lollipop. Everybody else, if you're in the chat and you're just joining us, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. If you are into baking, let us see by hand. Okay, Lollipop says, I hoarded stuff before now and I don't use it. It is in my way. I don't need it. Throw it. Okay, so seasonings to seasonings. Oh, look, say it 3 times and that's a mouthful. Okay, seasonings to seasons. Okay, what are we seasoning, darling? Great to have you here. Welcome to the chat. So here's a question for you. If you are you a baker? If you're a baker, show by hand. And oh, look at me adjusting my clothing. Okay, show by hand if you're a baker. And can you remember the first item you got when you started baking? And what inspired you to buy that item? What brought you to wanting to buy that item if you're a baker? So whilst that question is on in the chat, right? This is how my baking things, the hoarding of my baking things started, right? Whilst I'm talking to you, I will be unpacking some of those so you will see what I have over here. Now, when I started baking, I really didn't have a specialty, as in, I thought I wanted to learn everything and do everything that I could possibly do. And as my baking experience grew, I realized there were things that I was more adept at and things that I wasn't. But between what I was adept at and what I wasn't, there was also what I was more interested in developing and things that I wanted to leave behind. If you've been on this channel, you will know that even though I bake professionally and I tutor and I do all these things in between, piping is not my strongest point. Like when people do all the fancy piping on a cake, I admire it from a distance. I can do some extended advanced piping more than a beginner, but it's not my area of specialty. And I actually, to be honest, don't fancy undertaking piping as an advanced program that I can develop on. But switch to this side, and I like polished fine cakes, ganache finished with stencil detail, floral arrangement. That is my specialty. That's the thing that I enjoy very much. And an advanced version of that is occasionally some fondant cakes that I can put together, still with the same running detail, talking stenciling or textures, lace detail, floral arrangement, custom elements, and all of that stuff, right? So I can tell you exactly what my specialty is now. But 10 years ago when I started baking, I didn't know where I was headed. And I definitely didn't know what baking and decorating was going to be. I mean, besides having the interest in finely polished cakes that are well presented, I've also chanced into the very skilled aspect of cake sculpting. And my sculpting are close to hyper realistic elements that I can represent in cake form. So you can see that where I started, which was not knowing what my skill will advance to and what my exact interests and preferences will be. In fact, I will say this: when I started baking and decorating, more so the decorating, I was into sugar flowers. If you know anything about sugar flowers are so delicate and time consuming. If you undertake them, oh God, they add beauty and aesthetic. They make the cakes aesthetically pleasing, and they actually elevate the cake and make them highly professional. But they add a ton of cost and time to your cake. And even though I enjoyed learning about sugar flowers and doing them, over time, as I refined my skill and refined my techniques and grew in my skill and also my interest in cake decorating, I realized that sugar flowers were exactly not my thing. I don't even offer them unless a customer, for some reason specifically, asked for them. I don't offer them at all. And when a customer offers them, I exercise the discretion to offer them exclusively on wedding cakes. Otherwise, I don't. So where I started and where I am at are two completely different things. But where I started also came with the naivety of not knowing the journey I was going to undertake, was actually relying on different sorts of decorative items to help me make cakes. For instance, I depended on a lot of molds. Over here, I have the molds for the minion. I mean, if you know me, you know I like a minion. Nicola, hi there in the chat. If you know me, you know I love minions, okay? So here are some molds for minions that I picked up. I have some numbers, as in numbers and letters that are fondant, that I can stamp out from fondant. I mean, if you look in here, talk about minions. Not only do I have minion molds, I also have the minions as toppers, because when I started baking, look, 2014, 2015, I think my very first few cakes involved minions anyway. And these are some minion toppers that I bought so that I could use them to top on a cake, and everything else in between I had. If anybody wanted, I mean, these days I can make a football, a hyper realistic football. But when customers wanted a football themed cake, like when people asked me for themed cakes, I would consider how to represent the items by actually bringing secondary toppers to it. And these are footballers that I bought. These are toppers for, say, if someone wanted a football pitch cake and you wanted to have some of the players displayed on the pitch, you create the cake and then you have the toppers. You know, I had somebody wanted this, I think has something to do with Shrek. I might probably be pulling this on top of my backside, but anyway, the point is, I had all of these things that I was spending money on buying when I started my cake decorating, not realizing that sometime in the future I would never need them, right? But at least they serve the purpose. Some of these items I have here are a remainder from some of the items I bought for use, and some are left over. So as you can see, I have 3 of the minions over here. I have a Smurf, I think. A Smurf, a character. And then there are the football bits. But outside of that, we also have some molds. I mean, These were molds I picked up recently because I went snooping on Amazon, okay, recently for some shopping items. And then I saw these molds, and I don't know what occurred to me. Maybe I thought I was going to, maybe that's because I'm an impulse buyer too. I just don't know how I ended up buying these things thinking I needed them. Because, to be honest, I don't know why I picked them, okay? But here they are. These are pineapple molds. And from there were Christmas themed molds here. And the Christmas themed molds here that we have, as much as they looked like useful or something of value at the time when I bought them, just working on them was going to be tricky. You know what? I like easy, convenient. I like a polished cake, but I want to invest my time into making sure that I can just complete the cake without having to faff and change things and do different things. And then when I bought these molds, I realized that these were a faff, okay? But these are even more recent. In between all of that are these also. This is a Lego themed mold here. I had a customer, one of my very loyal customers. She wanted a Lego themed cake, and the Lego themed cake she wanted, if it was anybody else, I wouldn't have taken the order on. But this particular customer has been very loyal, and I always try to serve my customers who are loyal, because loyalty pays. Their loyalty has helped me grow and stay in business for all this time. So I decided to buy this custom mold. It was a Lego themed. And that's the thing also about a custom cake. Sometimes if you order a custom cake, the reason why the cost of a custom cake is more than your regular cake on the market is because some of the elements that have to be bought are custom. Because after using this for the Lego themed cake, I've never had a need for a Lego cake anymore. Anyway, so here is the mold. So we have some Christmas themed molds. We have some tropical themed molds, which are the pineapple theme and the trees over here that we have. And what have you? The other items I have are flower pots. As in, I say flower pot, they are not flower pot, they are petal holders. Like if you make flowers, they sit in here to dry, okay? And that's what they are like. And I have those. Look, I even have sprinkles that are expired. They were sat there, like I was digging into my stuff. This will definitely be going into the bin, okay? In fact, whilst we're at it, let it go. I won't, you know. And then we have some more items here. We have, let's have a look. Tara, darling, hi there. How are you? Great to have you. If you are just joining us and you're wondering what is going on here, your baker has been hoarding items, and now your baker wants to discard of the items she has been hoarding. So I am working through my hoarded items with you, and then we will decide the things that we want to keep and the things that we want to discard, right? That is why. Let's see. Was Nicola here in the chat? KWK, you want puff puff. Lollipop. Puff puff is it's a form of fritter. Yeah, the closest is a fritter or a donut. No, the closest is a donut, not a fritter. So yeah, it's a street snack. No, I don't make puff puff. KVK. Okay, KVK. I don't make puff puff over here. I'm a cake maker. Okay, it's a street snack. It's a donut essentially. Okay, lollipop. Seasonings to seasons. I need to learn to bake. Cooking a little, gardening a little. Depends on what season I am in. Things can change. That's where mine. Oh, okay. Seasonings to season. Okay. So you are quite open to a few different things and learning as you go. Okay. That's actually an inspirational name. Thanks for sharing and thanks for clarifying that. Great to have you, and thank you for stopping by with us. Well, if you'd like to bake we bake over here, darling. We do it all, okay? And we don't just stand here and talk about random ish that has nothing to do with anything. We actually do bake, and I mean bake. Except today I just thought I will bring my hoarded items to you so we can work through them. So we do have some really useful items here. If you would like some of them, put your hand up. Unfortunately, I am probably going to limit it to my UK-based audience. You know why? Because postage might just be tricky to international audiences. But if you would benefit from these, I would be happy to give them away, okay? And if not, I'll probably put them in my local bakers group, and then somebody can pick them up. Somebody wanted puff puff on top of a cake. First of all, I don't make puff puff. It's a donut, but it's not my specialty. So I won't be able to provide them as secondary decorative items on a cake. So KWK wants puff puff. No, I won't be able to make it for you, my darling. Okay? Now, Victoria and pronounced, okay, Victoria. Okay. Oh, Victory. Victory pronounced Victoria. Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Victoria. Okay, let's say Vicky. Look, I like to just call people by a name that just feels special to me. But I know your name is Victoria. Okay, how you decided what you wanted to do for baking? Oh, okay. I'd like to know your story about what. Thank you for asking that question, Victoria. I have shared the story here before. Well, my story of baking doesn't start from the girl in her mother's kitchen baking with her mother. No, my mother didn't bake and I couldn't afford to bake. And by the way, much of that reason is also because I grew up in Ghana and baking is an expensive luxury, okay? Especially with all the things I have today to enhance my skill and ability. Back then in Ghana, it was harder than you would think. So no, my baking journey didn't start until in my late 20s when I worked for a client and we used to cook together. And the cooking was something we did because it was fun, but it was also part of enhancing the client's independence. Baking became a secondary activity associated with the cooking because after the cooking, at some point we transitioned to baking, and the baking wasn't the idea of going to run a business. No, we would do the cooking a lot, and then one day we were in the kitchen and the idea of, oh, actually let's bake a cake, and then we started talking about a cake, and before we knew it, we didn't have we had the ingredients because there's always pantry items in the kitchen to use for a cake, but we didn't have the tools and equipment. So by some stroke of genius, okay. Anyway, that's by the way. By some stroke of genius, I thought outside the box and I adapted the recipes to kind of sidestep the lack of tools and equipment. So for instance, instead of going for a recipe that required having to cream the butter and sugar, which would have required a hand mixer or a stand mixer like the one behind me, I melted the butter and then we mixed it with the sugar and then we added some milk. So we settled for the one pot method and we mixed everything, put it in the oven, and before long it baked. It was actually a burnt cake. It came out so good even after we mixed the matched stuff without the accurate measurement, because I think we used cups for the flour and the other things. But before long, it had come together, and it was just the excitement that we felt by this random adventure resulting in something so positive. And then I think the extension of that positive and fun element was when we went to share the cakes with the client's family members, and they all ate. It was a bundt cake, and if you know a bundt cake, there's not much to it, okay? It's like a loaf, and it's an all butter bread. There was an all butter cake. There was nothing much to it, but it was just the sheer excitement of being able to share something that otherwise we weren't supposed to be doing or couldn't afford to do. As a result, the joy stayed, and the client wanted to bake more. And out of curiosity and also to enhance our prospects of having better bakes, I would come home, I would trial recipes, and then go back and pretend as though nothing has happened. We were trying this all new. Our results got better, okay? But my curiosity and excitement never stopped. Of course, I transitioned from that job, and the rest is history. But I think I brought with me the curiosity. But besides the curiosity, once I discovered the excitement of the baking process and the science about it, I was just definitely curious to make a cake that was preferable to me. Because as a Ghanaian, I didn't grow up with the same taste preferences and interest in eating cakes. Where I grew up in Ghana, cakes were a luxury. You don't wake up every day and go to your corner shop to buy cakes. Cakes were baked specially for weddings and special occasions, and children were an afterthought. So if you go to a wedding, nobody is thinking of serving you a cake until the cake is all done and served, and you, the kids, are throwing the crumbs over there. But even though it was a luxury, it was a type of cake that was tied to our culture and our people, because Ghanaian cakes are not overwhelmingly sweet. We have different types on the spectrum. We have the equivalent of your cake that looks like a bundt cake, but it is very stodgy and dense. It's close to a loaf than it is a cake, but because it's baked in the form of a cake, it's called a cake. And then we have some aspect that is a rock bun. It is more like a scone, but it takes a very lighter form, if you like. It's a snack also. It's mixed with this puff thing somebody was saying in the chat. And then we have the luxury cakes, which are obviously the wedding cakes that are more like the fruit cakes. Wedding cakes in Ghana when I was growing up were not the sponge sweet cakes you had. They were a form of fruit cakes that were made to not be sweet. And they were actually made with the intention of representing the different seasons of married life, where parts of the marriage will be great and exciting and interesting, and other parts were just plateaued and boring. So the cake was made to represent that. And of course, because as a child you'd be served the crumbs, sometimes all you're left with the crumbs of this thing that you really didn't much appreciation for, but yearned for. So obviously, once the opportunity came for me to kind of bake, the journey started with the client, after which I transitioned. But the thing that actually got me stuck in the process was the excitement, the curiosity, but also desperately trying to get a cake for myself, make a cake for myself. Because when I came to England, suddenly all the cakes I would eat were very sweet and overpowering and overwhelming for my taste preference. And that is also because I didn't grow up with a sense of such sweetness. I don't like sweets. I'm not a sweet person. I can have a bar of chocolate, but even so, it's once a while. So I found cakes overwhelming, and I was always the kind of guest at a party or at a gathering where I would scrape the buttercream off the cake and then leave the sponge. But if it's a short board cake, when you take the buttercream off, there's not much left. And if it's a short board cake also, you know you're going to get a hella dry, sweet thing that feels like a dry sponge in your mouth. It was really not my thing. So once I knew I could put something together out of the curiosity and the science of it, I was just determined to make a cake that I would eat, that I would love, that I would enjoy. And I think just that adventure would lead to other people enjoying the cake I like. And then it naturally became the thing where everybody was like, these cakes are great. These cakes are great. Do you want to make a business out of it? And then I went and decided to start a business. And 10 years later, here I am. So that is a summary of where I started and where we are at today. Now let me have a drink. Is it Sivan or whatever? Stop talking and start cooking. I don't know who you think you're talking to, okay? I'm going to give you some time to gather yourself, because sometimes written language doesn't land as it is spoken, okay? But you have no business telling me what to do. And if you feel like you can't tolerate talking, hell on, move on to the next place over there where you can see somebody cook. Because I don't know who you think you're talking to, okay? We tolerate different opinions, but what we will not tolerate here is disrespect, okay? I wasn't just talking into the open air. I was answering a question that was actually intentionally asked by somebody, and I was providing that information for their use and value. And if you didn't find that interesting, it's a mighty place on YouTube. You can trot on to the darker places and have fun over there. Good day. All right? Goodbye, Tiyab. Sometimes people don't realize that we have a block button. People don't realize that we can tell you to move on. Because you know what we don't do over here? We are such a safe and nice community over here. And what I will not tolerate is disrespect. Either to me or anybody in the chat. You will be gone. That's all. Victoria was saying, great story. I scraped the icing off a cake too. You know what? There's a lot of us who do that. I feel like I have to drink water today. My head feels a little bit light. Sorry, people. Whew. So, Victoria, here's a question for you. Do you bake? And if you scrape the icing off your cake, what are your alternatives and what do you do? By the way, people, I was answering Victoria's. Lollipop. That is not very kind at all. That you are over there eating a cake without me. Why are you not sharing? Why are you being a meanie? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. People. The minion toppers that I bought, some of them are still useful, you know. Okay. Anyway, people. Okay, that's the minion toppers. Whilst we're at it, let's not forget the reason why we are here is to sort through my cake clutter. Oh God. Who sometimes wakes up and feels like they are so hungry they can't, like they have a light head? I have a light head because I'm feeling so hungry. Oh, God. It's a mess. Okay, I have a light head because I am so hungry. Okay, let's see. Okay. Can you see me? Okay. Right. My kitchen is such a small space, by the way. So I just want to make sure I am sat in front of you and that. Look. Oh, God. It's a small kitchen. I am excited to get to a bigger kitchen, though. I'm excited to get to a bigger kitchen because, can you see what a struggle it is to just sit down? I know. Eat something. I don't have anything yet. Like, I woke up and I tried to make myself some breakfast options. I normally don't like processed breakfast. I like to cook my own breakfast, but I didn't have time. And then I had some hash browns, frozen hash browns pre-bought. And they're so salty. I cannot handle the salt at all. So I'm like, let me just finish the live, have something to eat, and then go back to filming. So maybe when I finish, I might just have something sugary, because for some reason I'm so famished. Why am I talking about my famished self, people? Thank you. I know you care. Okay, I'll be all right. Let's drink some water. Now, whilst we're at it, let's kind of work through the items. For instance, I had these small heart-shaped tins. We were talking about tins the last. Oh, have a lazy salad. Yeah, come to think about it, I have coleslaw. I have carrots. I'll grate some carrots, and I think I have some sweet corn. I'll have a salad when I'm done. Anyway, that's just by the way. And I actually wanted to fry some pecores. Nicola, I wanted to fry some pecores because I have gone and prepped everything I need already. It's just that I should make time for the bake, right? So some of the things that I have, if you may find some use for them, these are like letter number molds. And I've used them for cakes time and again. You know, you have the number 1 to 10, the 0 to 10. Lollipop went and bought herself a watermelon, and it's nearly 10 quid from Lidl, right? So let's not forget. Okay, the other things I have here, I think I will be using these though in the course of future lives, just so that we can get rid of them. This is pearlized lace, white, and it's the Claire Bowman mix. You know, I bought these for, there was a time where I used to make a lot of lace type cakes. So I think some of these items I will not be transferring them on, but what I will do, however, is I will keep them and then use them for tutorials so that you can see the different aspects we can use pearl lace. Can you see? This is the pearlized silver lace. So there you have it. Silver lace mix. I have the pearlized gold lace mix. The issue with the gold is that sometimes the gold and the silver pre-made is that by the time you come to putting them in the oven, they end up crisping up. Otherwise, I would have used them to make some lace fabrics that we can add to cakes, but who knows? I'll try and use them on tutorials just so that you can see how they are used, and then you can probably go and get yourself some. Now I have impression rolling pins, as in impression rollers. These are used to create impression on fondant if you want. And I think when I started my baking and decorating career, I was so desperate to use a lot of these. So here we are. I bought them. I have used these two. Where's the red one? Oh, I can't find it. Okay, I had a red version of this that is heart formed, and then these are leaves. All you do is you roll it. I think I might come back and use this for demonstration on the lives so that you can see. This one, for instance, the details are not very clear sometimes when you use it on, because the details are etched onto the roller, and you have to then roll it on a fondant and then impress the details on the fondant. But yeah, there you have it. So I think these will be used for demonstration with the pearl laces. And then I could do with a cup of tea. But the kettle is a little bit noisy. I don't care, so I've turned it off. I also bought myself some Easter egg molds. Never used it. Some of these things, as you can see, they are still in their packs and used. I went and I bought these square cutters. Now I'm stood there asking myself, why did I get them? Okay, let's see. Lollipop went and bought herself some watermelon that cost more than £10. That cost nearly £10. And she thought she got ripped off. Okay. Jackie is back. Jackie, this is for you. Jackie. Jackie. Oh, God. Oh, Lord. For those of you who don't understand the reference, we will not explain, okay? Jackie, don't encourage it. Oh. God, I've got tears in my eyes again, Jackie, I don't think I have been the same person since yesterday. Now all we need is a fair coat. Yes. Oh, yes. Lollipop. Oh, yes, you bet. Look, I haven't been the same person since I found out that I could actually be dropping it low in a club somewhere with Aunt Jackie. Okay? Okay? Oh God, my belly hurts. Okay? I mean, that's the fun side of what we do here. It's all right. It's all right. It's just I couldn't stop that, but I don't think this live will be monetized because unless we go and clip out the Nelly music, I know that playing this music on a YouTube video might probably get you more into trouble with YouTube. Not so much trouble. They would just come back and say it contains like copyright music or items over there. So yeah, but I couldn't help myself. I said I could lose the 19 pence, okay, just to have fun with Auntie Jackie. So that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, it's getting. I wanted to get to that part of the song. Okay, I really did. I think that's enough now. Let's go and let's go. That's enough now. Let's James. I should be your baby mama. James, where do you come from? Hello. No, the music you hear is not Gladys's Cake Kitchen. No. Okay, I mean, that's enough now. Some days we have to have an understanding of the world we live in and make sure that, you know what, we can hold a conversation around the subject matter. I think that's just a little bit of fun over there on the side. it is not a reflection of who we are, and it's not an extension of who we are at all. But you know what? We know how to have fun when necessary. So that's okay. I'm okay with that. Okay, people. Okay. James, so you are from Australia. Okay. James. Oh yeah, James, don't worry. It's my little friend here. So James, come here. So of all the kind things you could have said to me, okay, you think me and my old pretty self made in God's image, all that I am worth is to be your baby mama. I mean, come on now, sir. I think you could have done better. So you know what? I'm not going to judge you because I don't know where you're coming from, and I don't know what your experience is that makes you think every woman on the internet could be your baby mama. But certainly it won't be me. And I hope if there is something you will take from this, perhaps next time you want to ask a woman, how are you? How is your day? And not just jump right into wanting to make her your baby mama, because that just screams a little bit impolite at best and weird at worst. I'll leave it as that. So you think an intelligent woman will sit on the internet and want to be a baby mama? Come on now, you are contradicting yourself, James. But you know what? I'm going to leave it as that and just let it be. Okay, so an intelligent woman is not going to want to be your baby mama. But so then why did you try, James? Green handler. What happened today? What happened today? Green handlebar. Do you do OnlyFans? Do you eat cake on OnlyFans? You know what? All of you creeps, goodbye. Goodbye. It just seems like today the algorithm ended up on the wrong side of YouTube, and we've just had some rude people just literally roll up all high on their rudeness. We're not dealing with that today. Just because we're playing Nelly doesn't mean we've lost the plot, okay? We haven't lost the plot, and we are not about to do that over here. Okay, people? I know, Jack. Trying to... I mean, Jackie, the lesson here is the serpent found its way into Eden, okay? So this is not new. But here's what we will do when the serpent shows up. The Bible says, resist the devil. But at some point, he says, flee from sin. So the Bible, the Lord gave us what? Wisdom and discretion. Some point you have to decide, am I going to resist this, or I'm literally going to leg it to the left? And OnlyFans and baby mama is to the left, where I am not tolerating this conversation. You are dead to me, and I'ma just move on over here. Okay? But the part where oh, steady with the aggressive spirit. Jackie went from let's have fun to actually soaring ears and okay. And I told you people, don't try Aunt Jackie. I told you. I told you yesterday. I told you just because Auntie Jackie decided to have fun with us doesn't mean she is accepting of your poor manners and bad behavior. You see? She's got a Peter spirit. The ones that... Jesus loves Peter, but Peter is like, can we just cut his ear off and be done with this? I mean, how dare them? Oh, God. Lollipop says, I wonder how good a rack is for a bad back. Lollipop, I need a hot drink. Look. Well, who's Aunt Jackie's got me. When Jesus was who's people in the chat, help me out here, because Aunt Jackie is just about to find out I am be reading my Bible. No. I have. Except I've been stuck in Samuel, okay? I am not over there with the Matthews and I'm stuck in Samuel. I'm talking rebellion and all that mess over here. Rebellion, disobedience, and but whose ear did Peter chop off when Jesus was being arrested? There's a scene in the Bible where somebody's ear comes off and then Jesus puts it back. Do we have a name? Do we have a name? I don't think there's a name, but yeah, Auntie Jackie, I was actually, because you said you like Peter, I'm like, okay. Peter, was it Peter who cut somebody's ear off in the Bible? Is it? Am I making that up? People, help me out. Yay! Yes. Okay. So Nicholas said, Gladys, come here. Swim over here. I'll make you a good... Oh. See? My minion is even excited. It's a mess today. My minion is even excited for me. Right. You know what? First of all, it's okay, friend. First of all, people, I can't swim. I'm black. Okay? I can't swim. But in the summer, which is nearly over, I'm taking a swimming lesson. Okay? Look, I can't show you. Even if I did become an Olympic swimmer, I can't show you, because what you are not about to see on this internet streets is your auntie out here in a bikini. There's no reason for that. Okay. Lollipop. Yeah, but when I come hang out with Lollipop and what is her name? Tabitha. When I go and hang out with Lollipop and Tabitha, then yes, that will be our own private meetup over there. But the auntie is not about to be out here posting bikini shots of herself on the internet for no reason. There is no reason for that to be out here, and that's okay. All right, that's okay. So no, Nicola, I will fly to you. I will not be swimming, because even though I fancy the idea of a toned pair of abs and legs and looking like, look, I am African, I'm gifted, okay? Let's move on. That said, we were talking about Peter in the Bible. So Aunt Jackie was like, yeah, Peter cut off the ear, but Lorena Bobbitt. Okay. Auntie Jackie, to the prayer closet now. Oh Lord, my head hurts. My head hurts. My head hurts. Oh. Whoa. Oh, oh, God. You know what? It all goes to show we can have fun here. I mean, in the same context, we're talking Peter in the Bible, and we're also talking, is it Lorena Bobbitt? Okay. I mean, I have to check her name out, but I can almost imagine, yeah, if she's got more delicate stuff of, are we talking the stuff that looks like a sausage? Don't answer that. Let's all move on, okay? Let's... Oh, Lord. Yeah, and come to think about it, I was saying, I am actually stuck. These days, I am stuck in the book of Samuel. For some reason, well, yeah, my Bible study, yeah, the word I was looking for. My Bible study has landed me in Samuel. And there's quite a lot. For some reason, I started with 2 Samuel, but it's brought me back to 1 Samuel. And I'm just enjoying the stories over there and the lessons that we take from it. Aditi, is it Aditi Patil? Hey, great to have you here. Lollipop, you wanted to train as a lifeguard. No wonder you live by the sea. So why didn't you, honey? Why? You decided you didn't want to do that. Well, you can still teach me to swim. I'll take you on the offer if I make it up south sometime. Okay? Nicola started swimming at 6. Wow. Well, my boy swims because his dad is a really good swimmer. I just, you know what, on my to-do list, I'm going to learn to swim. That's all. I'll leave it as that. No, listen, I am so conscious about the fact that I can't swim. I don't like water. So I will not be putting you in a position to want to save me, because me and the water, we don't play. Okay? But then again, there are disasters, but we pray that the Lord will keep us all safe. RD is back in the chat. RD, darling, how are you? Great to have you. Oh, you are good at drowning. RD, I'm not good at swimming, but I'm not drowning either way, because I am not going into the water. And whilst we're at it, people, I think we all forgot why we were here, because we decided to make it to Nellyville over here and take our clothes off a little bit, okay, because it's hot in here. And then we delved into the serpents who are creeping up here in our Eden, okay. And then we talked a little bit about where we are in our Bible study, and now we're here. Your auntie out here has been hoarding cake stuff, and it's time to let go. So I brought some to discuss with you. If you're UK based and you feel like you could benefit from some of these items, put yourself in the chat. When I go back to kind of looking through whoever is, maybe I can send some of these to you, but I really don't know. Because unless you are decorating cakes and using these molds, there's no reason for these. I don't know, people. I don't know. I am just struggling with the intention. Oh, God. Nicola, you're not the only one with a hurt stomach, you know. I have not been the same since yesterday. Now, I have been thinking, am I odd for not owning a fur coat? Because I could do a fair different things with a fur coat. Lord, yeah, the fur coat. You know what? The fur coat and the music. Audi is a land creature. I mean, we're all land creatures. I can't see who is a shark amongst us and who is a fish. And if we were talking fishes, who would be the great great blue whale, and who will be the little what do you call it, anchovy? Who will be the anchovy over here? Because if we're talking blue whales and anchovies, what an unfair thing to say. Oh, hello, Med Place, our fellow mammal, okay? Well, fellow Homo sapien might just be the thing, but hello, mammal, our mammal, yeah, anchovies. Can you imagine if we were all fishes and someone had to be an anchovy? It's like, why? Why is someone a shark? And why is someone an anchovy? God. Oh, look. I'm having to go through all of these things. I'm like, now I'm looking and thinking, why did I buy these? Okay, here is one of the rolling pins. And then I have this FM. This is for a baby shower themed cake. I have this for a male. And then there are letters. I have quite a lot of things here. I do, Tara, I do. If you were in the UK, you could actually let me know in the chat, and what I'll do is send this off in the post. There's quite a lot of things here, you know, from, I have scrapers, the plastic, and the coincidence about talking about baking pans. These baking pans were, I didn't actually buy these. They came, when I started baking years ago, they came as an offer with stock. If you bought stock margarine, you would get this pan with it. And that's how I bought the stock margarine. And then I had these 3 pans to go with them. I have never needed them. Never. And so here they are. They will be good for brownies. If I baked brownies. But now I have my professional tins, so yeah, you would have to organize them by theme because you'd be so lost. I won't be surprised because look, I have more items, you know, but I am still not set on my journey yet. Because even though I am moving and parts of the business might probably come to a close, it's not closing. It's more like I am having to rebrand, if you like. Because here's the thing. When I started baking, I never knew that I'll end up on YouTube. And suddenly we are here, right? And then there's the side of the business that makes custom cakes over there. And there's the intention that I could possibly make it all one umbrella, you know. So there's a lot of things happening on the back end, which I will keep you posted as it develops, you know, and it requires like a lot of intention, but more so prayer to kind of define where I am at. So yeah, I'll keep you posted when the time comes. But I also have this leveler for leveling cakes. This will be handy for any beginner who struggles to level their cakes, you know. So I have quite a lot of items here. Yes, Aunt Jackie is saying downsize and scale back. Yes, exactly what I'm doing, because we are definitely downsizing, because the house I live in now is huge. Okay, there is really no reason why I should have been living in a house like that. I say that, but once upon a time life was different, and now life has changed. But all of it is contextual. It's a good way, you know. If you wake up every day, you have your life, your son is great, your family is all right. Look, everything else is just okay, right? So we will be downsizing, and then I will then have a lot, like very specific focus on where I'm headed, because much of this also has also been a learning curve for me, because when I started my business, like when I set it up professionally and wanted to kind of take things moving forward, I didn't know I would end up on YouTube. The reason why YouTube even was a consideration was because by the time I set my business up and I was good to go, COVID happened and I had no business to tend to, okay? Nobody was buying cakes, more so custom cakes in 2020. So very quickly, just within the same time I set up the business, I found out where the trouble spots of the business was, which is that you can set yourself up and have your goals drawn, but time is not yours and you don't have the foresight to see in the future. Because I didn't have the foresight to know there was going to be a pandemic called COVID and the whole world will come to a close. And at the time when that happened, I wasn't on YouTube. I didn't know anything about YouTube. But what it taught me very quickly then was also to trouble-proof the business I had and to diversify. So I started this YouTube journey as an opportunity to learn something new and to consider it as a back-end project, just in case the business didn't come back up. Obviously, once COVID restrictions got lifted and our world became normal, the business lifted back up, but it has never been the same. I'll tell you this, there is room for a custom cake business, and I know it, but it is not scalable, okay? The people who pay £300-400 for a small piece of cake don't show up every regular Tuesday wanting a cake, okay? They don't. So the sort of business module and the customer attraction is very specific, and it takes hard work and it takes grind. But my fault as a business owner is that I hate selling. I hate it. I don't hate it, actually. It's just not something I am passionate about as much as I am the other aspects. Okay, I have just left the business to grow on its own by word of mouth and by loyalty and recommendations from that word of mouth, which is actually a very solid base to start. Because if you go on Google for my business, the sort of reviews you get are actually real people who experience me and my business and have been gracious enough to feedback so positively. But in terms of the business scaling, it is very stagnant. You will not be able to scale because the business relies exclusively on my skill, okay? And if I'm not there, the business is not there anymore. And so that kind of taught me that, oh, okay, this is very limiting. But by the time it dawned on me, this is very limiting, thankfully, I had made my way onto YouTube. And I thought, this was what I was thinking. I thought I wanted to grow this very slowly and steadily. And I didn't care how long it will take. I think the limiting foresight for me was that I was not in charge of time and life was still life. Okay, so I woke up 2025 and not on my bingo card, life lifed so hard, and here we are. So the thing I am doing is I am embracing the opportunity of the change that has been presented to me, just so that I can evaluate where I want to be. And that is an everyday process as we are developing through this transition. So as it is happening, I will keep you posted. But in the meantime, the basic thing I am doing is decluttering my house, whilst also considering where I have been keeping all of this mess and to decide what I want to do with them at this moment in time. So yeah, we've gone through some of the things you see I have got here. Some of them I'll come back and use as tutorials and demonstrations for you to see. And others I'll probably be posting on my local groups so that I can give them away to any up and coming new bakers who might benefit from them. And if that's not the case, I'll just throw them away. But yes, that is where we are. So Lollipop was saying, oh, speaking of moving, Gladys, once the 2 months run out, you can stay. Yes, you know what? Yes, that is still viable anyway. You know what? The move is definitely happening. It is. So that is not even a question of if. It is a question of when. Okay, but I am trying to also exhaust all the opportunity of time I have, so that it is not like it doesn't end up being overwhelming for me, lollipop. Okay. No, Jackie, you didn't miss the convoy at all. We were just catching up on the move and evaluating the business and the decisions I have to make alongside it. Okay, you've hardly missed anything at all, my darling, so don't worry. Yes, lollipop, thank you. Yeah, lollipop, I guess I understood what you were saying over there. Yes, the truth is I didn't know, because I have never been served a Section 21 before. Okay, it's my first time. So the first time I saw the 8 weeks, I was like panicked. I was like, oh, and then I went and I sought information, and I was well informed that whilst the initial 2 months when the notice is served is valid for the period, you can still have up to like 6 months where paperwork and all of that. For me, it just means that it's neither here nor there. It just means that I have enough time to kind of, because I have a whole garage to pack up, you know. And if these are my cake stuff that I hoard, can you imagine my life, what I have hoarded? Okay. I have hoarded enough items, so oh God, water has never felt so good. Being drunk. Oh, my people, I told you, I came to show you look at me. And when I tell you, this is just some of the items I have. Okay. Unfortunately for you, you will not be I mean, you came into my lounge with me on the vlog, okay, where you saw bits of the boxes and stuff. But yeah, that is all we are going to see for now. Okay, I still have a whole garage and a whole house to pack. But yeah, the Lord is faithful, and we will be fine in the end. I have no doubt about it. I am so reassured that even in this season of my life, the Lord continues to show me that He has greater plans for me. And I hope if you're here today, okay, if you've just chanced onto us, hey, have I told you lately that I love cakes? Okay, my people in the chat know I love cake, and you're here because you love cake and you love me, okay? Right? But if you're just stopping for the first time, hi there. We make cakes over here, okay? We love cakes, but we love Jesus too, and we talk about Jesus all the time. And even in our chatter and making it to Nellyville and back, we have spoken about Jesus, and now we know our Aunt Jackie has a Peter spirit. She will be a great disciple, okay, but she will come for you. And so whatever you are doing over there, we trust the grace of the Lord will be enough for you, and His mercies will renew every day. And that is the promise and the hope we have, okay? And on that note, people, I have a whole filming session to undertake. Behind me here is the ingredients. We are making a cake that is going to be stackable, as in a simple sponge cake, mastering the basics for a sponge cake that can be stacked. There's nothing extraordinary about it. It's the same recipe time and again I have done on the channel, but I also wanted to create it as a full-on tutorial focused on the foundations of decorating, where a stackable cake is necessary and a recipe that is easy and accessible for everyone to have. So perhaps if I'm able to film it and edit it for the weekend, you should be able to see it. And then we'll be prepping for an episode of Caking It with Gladys where, oh my God, I've been researching for the cake drama, the cake news segment. And boy, oh boy, isn't there a lot in cake news? You will be very surprised. You will be very surprised about the things that are in cake news. So look out for Caking It with Gladys. But yeah, behind me there is going to be a lot of cakes. I have a red velvet cake going out sometime on the weekend, and I have a simple sponge cake. The sponge cake that we are going to bake for the stackable cakes is the one that is going out Thursday. So all of that is happening. So whilst we're at it, people, I think it will be about good time. It's almost 3:15. So for my American audience, Auntie Jackie and the rest of you, the morning is starting. So Auntie Jackie, go have a coffee. Okay, when you say a prayer, do remember us all here in your prayers, and we'll also be praying for you, and we wish you all the best with God's mercies and blessings, and we should be able to see you soon, God willing, tomorrow same time, right? And on that note, people, happy bacon, and say it with me, I love cakes. I'll see you in my next video. Peace. Auntie Jackie, thank you. Lollipop, thanks for all the help and for moderating. And Nicola, keep my food for later. I'll see you soon. Bye.